start my presentation today, I will talk about the outline for this presentation, which is I will start from the introduction, problem statement, objective, recommendation for experimentation, and lastly, result and conclusion. Firstly, I will talk about the introduction of Power Supply Trainer Learning Kit, which is power supply is one of the important topics in the electronic circuit and electronic device repair courses. Both of these courses are mandatory for electrical engineering students in Malaysian polytechnics. This innovation is developed to ensure that practical work by students can be carried out effectively within a time frame. Next, there are a few problem statements that I will emphasize, which is students face a challenge where they have to redo the power supply connection for this practical task when it cannot be complete, which lead to error in the connection and potential damage to the component that were used. Students may also face challenges in establishing the correct connection to achieve the desired output waveform. Next, I will talk about the objective of this trainer, which the first point is students are able to complete the practical work without any errors in making the connection. Second, students are able to achieve the desired output for the experimental circuit. Number 3, students are able to establish a connection between the theory they have studied and the practical work they are performing. And lastly, students are able to observe the waveform output, which was previously discussed in the theoretical class during the practical execution. As you guys can see, there are 5 phases of method implementation, which phase 1 is about modifying the practical circuit. Phase 2 about designing the trainer with appropriate test point. Phase 3 is about testing the circuit and test point. Phase 4 is about conducting collaborative circuit testing with students. And lastly, Phase 5 is about analyzing pre and post test result after using the trainer. As you guys can see, this is the improvement of lab sheet, which is the before is a circuit that haven't been divided by 5 blocks, and the after picture is the circuit that has been divided by 5 blocks. Next, this is the output waveform for transformer. This is the output waveform for rectifier, which rectifier has 2 outputs. The first output waveform is half wave rectifier. The second one is full wave rectifier. Next, this is the output waveform for filter. And lastly, this is the output waveform for voltage regulator. As you guys can see, this is the result from the question that were given to students to answer. One of the question is, I enjoy using the power supply trainer learning kit during the learning process, which 40 students will agree and 25 students will not agree. And in percent, the person that agree is 62% and the student that will not agree is 38%. Next, Table 2 is about simplified practical work, which the question is, Power Supply Trainer Learning Kit can make it easier for students during practice, which 88% students will agree and 12 students will not agree. Next, this is the result for post-test, which is 75% for student can complete on-time lab work, 80% for student connect circuit correctly, 82% for student can draw waveform for each block correctly, 86% for students are able to establish a correct relation between theory and practical. Next, this is the result for pre and post test, which show the result of percent before and after using power supply learning kit, which the result for after will increase compared to before. In conclusion, this trainer has been given many benefits to students and instructors, which is students were able to effectively connect practical work with proper circuit connection. Besides that, the trainer is developed to ensure that students gain practical proficiency in power supply circuit and achieve mastery of power supply topics in electronic circuit and electronic equipment repair course. And lastly, students can understand the different type within each block, and this teaches the output waveform for each respective type. I hope this presentation has provided you guys with a valuable insight and a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. Thank you for your attention.